Oh, look, I pissed him off. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to make sure you take care of him within those first few.
Do you
seconds.
have?
Yeah, because I'll be in the.
Yeah. Do you see flip flops anywhere? I mean, or some sort of
No,
sandal?
I'm like, or a rudimentary lathe.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't.
Newspaper rolled up.
Just kill it with your bare hand. This isn't that hard.
That sounds awful. Okay, if you hear me scream later, that's what's happening. Is the
Gotcha,
spiders come
gotcha.
back for revenge? I'm just gonna resituate myself, but just be ready for that random scream.
Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Matt and I'm here with Andrew. Today we're going to be talking about 13 Ghosts with the real life final girls, Elicia and Gen from the Horror and Heels podcast as we get their thoughts on everything scary movie related. So grab your popcorn and Reese's Pieces and let's break it down on the Post Credit Podcast.
Me and my brother, we try to fact check enough without having to look it up between each other. Usually one of us will have the answer.
That's the best kind of fact checking.
Oh, absolutely.
Not actually looking anything up.
And we actually set
Exactly.
we actually set something up on
We
our
have our own.
website that's called Afterthought. So if we mess up or whatever, then I can get on there and like, hey, just to let you know, yeah, we're aware that we messed this
Way
up.
to cover your ass. We're gonna need to do that.
Jen, when we
We
make our
need to-
website, we gotta steal that.
Yes. Done. Over.
Yeah, but I mean, the best part of that movie was probably David Tennant, right?
Oh,
absolutely.
totally.
Of course.
100.
Yeah, you guys agree with my brother. His favorite
Yes.
is David Tennant. My favorite doctor is Matt Smith, but I do really appreciate David
Oh,
Tennant.
I
Mr.
have
Matt.
a
That was his
really-
name.
I don't know if I want to admit this because I want you guys to still like me. I've never seen an episode.
Oh, really?
Of Doctor Who? That's fine. But if you are going to watch it, watch the Blink episode.
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
Yeah, when they introduced the Weeping Angels.
Mm-hmm. Man.
That was so creepy.
That's the
And-
first
and I don't-
episode I ever saw.
Yeah, and it goes up in the line. I don't know if you guys ever watched like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the
Oh,
original
totally.
series. Yeah, well, like the Hush episode that they have in Buffy, it reminds me a lot of that kind of episode, where they take away all their
Ooh.
voices.
I vaguely remember. I watched it like when it first came on, and I haven't watched it since. But that sounds
Jen.
familiar.
David Boreanaz, how are you not watching that?
Yeah.
I know. I'm like trying to rewatch it now.
I'm a big fan of his. I'm not gonna lie. I am definitely a big fan of Angel.
'Cause he's hot?
Well, not so much because of that, but
He's so hot.
he's in some of my favorite TV shows of all time. Especially Bones. I love Bones. That was just such an awesome show.
Yeah, I like
Nice.
his belt buckles and bones. His,
Yeah,
his,
his
his
socks,
cocky.
too. His socks.
I think it said cocky all the time on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife really liked that one.
Oh. You guys took
Yeah.
it to another level.
Well, I already hit record.
see that.
I mean, we
All
are.
your business is out on this thing.
That's right. That's right. So and I'll probably cut some of this down or whatever, but we can kind of dig into it if you guys want.
Sure.
Um,
Let's go.
Are you guys enjoying your weekend?
Yes, I'm actually broadcasting from Big Bear.
That's what we
That's
hear.
awesome.
We hear you're on vacation. That must be nice.
So we're out here for a friend's birthday, so we just came back from the lake. I was like, guys, I gotta get back, and they were gracious enough to come back. So
Man, that's my kind of weekend right there.
So, do I have this right that you guys have never met in person?
we have not. No,
Okay, so how did you guys meet?
you want to tell them?
I can help. So we are on a Facebook group for Shudder horror fans. Shudder is an app devoted entirely to horror movies. I believe AMC owns them, right, Jen?
Yeah.
AMC owns it. And so there's a huge fan group. And then one night, Jen drunkenly texted how much she loved like the people in this
The group, because it was all females. It was like I was like, there's girls in here, and I love that there are women that love horror because I can't find any.
And then I texted that we should get a women talking about horror podcast because there's a couple, but not many. And Jen was like, I'm totally down.
Yeah.
If you're serious, private message me. 10 seconds later, a private message appeared. We talked on the phone that day and started recording like a week later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it's all happened
That
pretty
is
fast.
awesome.
Yeah. And luckily we get along. We have a good chemistry, so we kind of it's working so far.
Well, you know, and it's and what's kind of crazy about that is that, you know, I mean, it's very stereotypical of women in horror movies, you know, always having to play the victim or whatnot, you know, in movies where, you know, you guys are love these movies and you talk about them and actually have a podcast about them. I mean, it's kind of ironic how that happens in cinema, you know, where they always portray the women as being a victim. Never strong lead in horror movies. You know, I mean, you'll see them in action
I don't know
movies.
though. That's Final
Technically,
Girl.
I mean, we have
There's
Final Girls.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's Final
I'm
Girls.
sorry.
I'll give you that.
Are you forgetting the one and only Miss Annie Wilkes? She'll break your fucking foot. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, I mean,
She doesn't put up with shit.
I guess where I was talking more or less like, you know, like the besides Final Girls, but, you know, like a lot of the stereotypes.
stereotypes.
Yes, exactly. You know, like it's anything to do with Jason, it always just seems like women are running from Jason. Men too, really. Yeah,
Well, like
falling.
we're
And
about
falling. Which is actually ironic, which is kind of cool because our name is Horror and Heels, and it's like that's why they fall because they've got heels on or whatever. That's what trips the women up is the heels.
TV on in the background. Can anybody else hear that besides me?
Yes.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like we just did an episode on Scream we're about to release, and you know, it talks about the tropes in those movies. You know, the main character even talks about how it's always some, you know, big-breasted girl that's running out the front door or running up the stairs when she should be running out the front door. It's insulting. So I think that's kind of
big-breasted woman. I am often insulted.
Okay, one of my biggest fears is spiders, and one of them is crawling on the bed sheets right now. I'm just gonna try to ignore it. For the sake of,
It could be a horror movie right
I don't
now
even
on the
know
pod.
what to
I'm sitting here trying to establish a creepy vibe.
My
here, and
God,
Jen's
this is
over
the
there being
second
real
spider
scared.
I've seen today. Okay, he's just gonna crawl down the
This
side.
is why you don't go into fucking nature. I can't tell you.
Shit, it's coming this way. Oh my God. This is the worst possible scenario. Okay,
I'm
I'm just
never
gonna try
traveling
to.
to Australia with you.
No, I will never.
John,
Oh,
you and my husband.
I'm gonna. Oh, look, I pissed him off. Oh my God. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, you need to make sure you take care of him within those first.
Yeah,
few
because
years.
I'll be in
do
the-
you see, do you see flip-flops anywhere? I mean,
No,
some sort of
I'm
sandal,
like-
maybe.
or a rudimentary lathe.
Yes,
I don't-
absolutely. Newspaper rolled up.
Just kill it with your bare hand. This isn't that hard.
That sounds awful. Okay, if you hear me scream later, that's what's happening. Is the spiders come back for revenge?
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna resituate myself, but just be ready for that random scream.
For the record,
Hey,
could Elicia encounter any kind of creepy crawly, you will just hear me kill it with my bare motherfucking hand.
Well, congratulations, Alicia. I am not
One
as
time
strong
we
as
were
you.
all together, like some friends of mine. We were like maybe 10 or 11. We're outside having a picnic. Bee, which my friend was deathly allergic to, like anaphylactic shock. So my grandmother knew that, landed on my grandmother's sandwich. Bare hand just smacked it,
Oh,
acted
no.
like nothing happened. Boom, dead. Threw out her sandwich, went inside, made a new one, moved it along. My friends are like, your grandmother's crazy. I'm like, it's savage. I love it.
But
She's
you guys are in,
Yeah.
well, I mean, Jen, you're out in nature right now. You're at Big Bear, but you know, here in Texas, we I mean, it's just like you live out kind of in the country and stuff. So I mean, just we're surrounded by bugs and insects
Oh,
and
yeah.
animals.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of just like just
Just
flip them away.
that's what I was trying to do, but with a napkin. But it didn't work. I didn't want.
And
I
pissed
did.
him
He
off.
came at. You should have seen the look in his eyes. I'm pretty sure he called me a bitch and then ran the other way. It's fine. I was like, I'm not scared of you. I was like, oh well, fuck. I'm really scared of you.
Not a derogatory term like, look at this win.
Oh God, there it is. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, I'm fine.
Do we need to send help?
Can you?
Animal control.
Aren't there other people in this cabin with you?
There are. Do you want to hear them on my? Oh my God. Okay. I'm just gonna go away. Okay. We're good. I'm sorry.
At least it sets the tone for you.
It does, right? I'm in the right mindset now. And then earlier I was inflating the inflatables for the lake, and then one runs by me, a huge one. So I seem to be attracting them, and I
Jen,
don't know why.
in all seriousness, if you have this much of a fear of them and you're going to be in nature, you should get yourself peppermint essential oil and rub it on you. They hate the scent.
Yes.
Yeah.
They hate it. Yes, I have it in my car actually because I do get a lot of spider webs on my car.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm gonna be brave.
All right. Let's all take a breath now.
Just
Try
breathe.
Not to think about eight-legged freaks or
in my bed. It's fine. I just won't sleep tonight. It's cool.
So what drew you guys to horror in the first place? Like a lot of people, I can't do horror or whatever. What drew you? What made you guys horror fans?
For me, let's see. My dad used to take me to see horror films as like an infant. Like I saw like the first or second Nightmare on Elm Street in theater. I can't even remember. Like most kids are like, "Oh, I remember my first rated R movie," and I'm like, "Really?" Because I've been watching them since I was little. Wow. But he would take me to see them. My mom hated it, and he would laugh and he would say, "Oh, look at that's fake blood." Like so. Yeah. It was never real to me. It was always this fun. That's not real. It's funny. And he would laugh. So I love horror movies. I always have. And we used to get like the campiest movies we could find from the video store. Just a random, you'd see a random video cover. Like Munchies was one of the ones I saw on Amazon Prime. I was like, I remember seeing that at the video store.
Yes. You remember Dr. Giggles?
What? No, I remember. What is that one?
He's like a dentist, I think. That was like a serial killer or something like that. Man, that's all I know about it. But I just that's one of those things that popped out from that was like real cheesy from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. Or Killer Clown. We were watching Killer Clowns last night.
Drew's not a huge clown fan,
and especially of that movie because that movie had a lot to do with why I'm not a big fan of clowns.
I mean, that's fair. I don't like clowns either, but so the clown spiders, that's a really bad combination. But so it's just my dad got me into it, and I think I'm a bigger fan of horror now than he is. Oh, wow, so nice. I've always it's fun and it's when it's the right kind of movie, it's exhilarating because you get that rush of, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's a fun genre for me. I don't know. I get a kick out of being scared. It's weird.
And even if you're not like fearful of anything in particular, it's just, it's the thrill of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not that that monster or whatever is scary. It's just the thrill of, what could happen next.
Right.
Alicia, how about you?
So for me, it was books first. Started off with Goosebumps, but I transitioned very quickly into Stephen King. Loved the original like Edgar Allan Poe stories, like the real Grimm's fairy tales, not whatever Disney did to them.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. So that was me. And I like the movies, but like if somebody said you can have movies or novels for the rest of your life, I'm taking the novels every time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
More space for in-depth storytelling and makes for juicier stories.
Yeah.
But plus, I mean, do you find, when you're watching movies, I mean, has there ever been really like a book or a movie that was released from a book and in your opinion, like pretty much nailed it, the whole entire exact match for match?
The Stephen King's The Mist did really good.
Mm-hmm.
1408 did fantastic. Yep.
I really like that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big John Cusack fan anyways, so,
Same.
Did pretty well. I mean, they take out the whole Hooper and Ellen having an affair thing and stuff, which I didn't think was necessary anyway, so that's right for me. I feel like And then there's some that the movie made me want to read the book and I haven't gotten around to it yet. Like, I wish I had known the Meg was a book first, but I didn't. And I just was like, "Ooh, Jason Statham, and it's wet, so he'll probably."
I didn't know that was a book.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a book. Yeah. So
take a look at that book.
The Exorcist did really well. The Omen did fantastically. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Goosebumps book?
Probably the Cheerleader Murders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That to this day, that cover.
The cover
of the three of them standing there, but their heads are skulls. Still gets me. That one still gets me.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Haunted Mask. I was.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was the first episode when they did the TV show, and they did that one very well.
Yeah, and then the mask looked a lot like it did on the cover of the book as well.
So creepy. My scariest one, I think, would be Stay Out of the Basement.
Yep.
That was
that ending. Yeah. That ending creeped me out like to my bones. I was like, oh my god, because like that subtle kind, like that's the stuff that scares me. It's not always like the obvious stuff, but just the creepy subtlety of like that little plant at your feet saying, I'm your real dad. And it's like, well, now what the fuck? Like, spoiler by the way. But yeah, but now you're like, is it that thing or is it that man that's cooking me breakfast right now? And then it ends and you're like, what? That's no closure whatsoever.
Interesting is I've met a woman recently and she's like, I can do true crime all day long, but I can't do horror. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about right now? Because I have a book right now and it's very well written. It's called If You Tell, and it's about this mother who abused her daughters. I'm having such a hard time getting through it because I know these people actually lived through this. Like, it's so terrifying. I'm like, give me Jason in the Woods any day. Nobody lived through that.
Right. I can see a head get chopped off in the woods and laugh at it all day.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a party where you're taking shots every time somebody dies, but it's a documentary on like real serial killers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Like the real stuff just.
Because my husband asked me, he's like, "Oh, do you not like the new book that you're reading?" Because he knows, like, if I like a book, 2-3 days max. I've been reading this one for like 2 weeks now, but it's because I find the subject so harrowing that I can only read like there are times in this book that I'm just sobbing for these people, like literally sobbing about what they went through. So when people are like, "Oh, I can do true crime all day," I'm like, really? Because I'm from New York. And anytime I even hear the word Albert Fish, chills, just chills. I know he's been dead long before I was even born. I don't care. Chills. And I lived very near. Do you guys know the Gilgo Beach murders?
No, I haven't heard that.
Okay, so on Long Island in Gilgo Beach, it's from a small beach community right off Ocean Parkway. About 15 or 16 bodies were found. 6 of them to this day have not been identified, and the killer has not been caught. So that is terrifying and down the road from me. So fabulous.
Modern day Jack the Ripper then.
Yeah, well, especially because a couple of the women that were found and were identified were prostitutes. Like Craigslist prostitutes and such. I actually am reading a book all about that, but that again, I can't read it like continuously. I keep stopping.
You have to have a break. Yeah.
Is that a thing? Like a Craigslist?
It sounds like it would be a thing.
Like that's a huge thing. I mean,
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it past Craigslist.
I'm sure of it.
You guys don't know about this.
No.
I mean, I've heard of people hooking up over Craigslist and stuff, but I've never heard of it being like a real like hub.
It's a very real thing. There was actually, if you look up the Craigslist killer, that is how he found his victims, was through those ads on Craigslist. He was tried, he was convicted. His name escapes me at the minute. But yeah, no, that's another true crime. Like, yes, no.
So you're saying I should cancel my meetup that I have later this week?
Did
Okay,
Scream
all right.
not teach this generation anything about the rules of being in a horror movie?
Can you teach this generation anything? Let's
No, you cannot. I can promise you that.
Well, Elicia, you had mentioned Jaws was one of your favorites. I figured that was a good transition to jump in the movie because at the very beginning of this movie, 13 Ghosts, they begin to like chum the graveyard, right?
Correct. With that big tanker truck. That was a cool actual effect.
That was
With
crazy.
blood. It was
Just the blood shooting out of the truck.
I was like, are we getting sharks or ghosts? I've never heard of a horror movie.
I never heard of a
attracting ghosts to blood.
It would
With
have been
blood.
the height of like horror movie comedy if it was a shark ghost.
Oh yeah.
That would have
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That,
No,
that
I think
sounds like
Sharknado
a
is going to do
Oh, I'm
13
sure.
Ghosts. Like
They should.
It's a
Good.
crossover.
Yeah. Like there's Sharknado number 15. I think they're on right now.
Something like that. I forget which one they're on.
Me and my dad watched those, all of them, all the way. Yeah,
I still haven't seen one.
And nobody seriously watches those, though. I mean, like they watch them, but they don't watch them because they know it's going to be any kind of.
Oh no, we
seriousness
watch it to make fun of it. Like
Absolutely,
it-
absolutely.
and they know what it is. The actors know what the movie. It's not like
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie's trying to be serious.
a bar near us. Every time a new one would come out, they would have like a Sharknado viewing party, and they would make special like shark bite drinks and
Oh, wow.
stuff. And then you do a shot like every time one of the tropes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Can I tell you,
Sounds like a
This
great
is
game.
one of the only real scary shark movies for a black person, though, because we're like, you could actually be sitting in your living room and a shark through your window. Like that's the only way we would be got by a shark. Because once you say there's a shark on the beach, like we're not going out there. Like everybody in Jaws, it's kinda hard to feel bad for him because you're like, well, you know, it's a beach. They said there was a shark, and you still went. But you're just sitting at home watching TV, and then all of a sudden a shark busts through your window. Like that's actually pretty scary. That's a scary way to get got by a shark.
Or by anything in general, anything that come through your window, you know.
Yeah, right. Anything. It could be a broom. I don't care.
Probably camping like she's never seen any of those movies, so I don't want to hear it.
I'm
It's
sorry. If I
fine.
saw a broomstick come through the window, I'd be like, "What the?" But if I saw a shark come through the window, I think I'd just pause, and my
Right?
mind would just break. Like I wouldn't understand what's going on.
Yeah, your mind couldn't even
What's
comprehend.
scaring me more? I'm terrified of cleaning my house. So.
I think a lot of people are actually.
So I mean, but that scene, I mean, that just really sets the
Well,
tone.
even Matthew Lillard is like, why do we need that? We've never needed
Yeah.
that before. What the f- are you
Right.
talking about?
Yeah, exactly. He's just like blown away. But I mean, like the whole just the ridiculousness of a truck with the blood. I mean, that just
Yeah.
it lets you know what kind of a film you're going to look
But-
at. Because
but they-
this movie
Right.
we're talking about, 13 Ghosts, it is not a good movie at all. It's not. But I mean, it's one of these fun movies that.
But it has Tony Shalhoub,
Yeah, which
and
Yeah.
this wasn't like brand new into Shalhoub's career. Like,
No.
like not read the movie, or was it? And I do wonder this because it's one of the first horror movies to feature that many people of that nationality in strong.
Arabic. Yeah.
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 And I wonder if it was positioned to him like that. Like I want to know how they got through. I understand
Right.
how they got Lillard because he loved.
he's Matthew Lillard, so
Yeah, he just wants to do zany stuff. But Tony Shalhoub kind of had a look on his face sometimes during the movie where he's like, "What the hell am I doing here?"
Yeah. Or just constantly defeated.
you know who is the antithesis of Matthew Lillard?
Who's that?
It's Jake Busey.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Gary
like,
Busey's son.
yeah, Jake Busey could play a good guy. He'd be Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
But-
yes.
Yeah, because he was kind of that way in Starship Troopers. Jake
Right,
Busey
right.
was, but then you get him in like the Frighteners, and he's just
Oh, oh
real
God,
creepy.
yeah.
Well, and see, and I wanted to talk about that too because I kind of feel like there's a comparison there between Frighteners and 13 Ghosts in the sense that it like borderlines almost comedy because like with Frighteners,
Right.
there is, it's available comedy. You can see it. with this one, it almost, it was like they brought Matthew Lillard in for that simple fact, to bring in just a little hint of comedy.
Comic relief. Yeah. He's a comic relief. Yeah.
And I'm going to say something probably that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, but I think he was the worst actor in the entire movie. The reason I say that,
Matthew Lillard?
Yes.
How dare you?
No. See, the reason I say that is that because, 1 second in one scene, he's the hero, right? And then the next scene, he's the weakling, whiny. Then he's the hero again. Then he's, the whiny guy, the cool guy. So how like their personalities progress throughout the movie. Like they get better and better. Their personalities get a lot more stronger, and they might have a change of events. But he was I felt like he was all over the place in the movie with his personality, if that makes sense.
That's true. That's true. I can see that.
Makes sense to me because I took it as the energy of the building really fucking with his precog abilities, that it's scrambling his brain. So it's like not happening. He can be in the zone, but then it's like, it's just scrambling the poor guy. Like you said, it's scrambling him.
Yeah.
He's really effing with him.
Stop touching me. Like, please stop.
Yeah.
Like my heart broke for him. And when he's saying to Tony, like, I didn't know who that was. I didn't know that was your wife. I didn't know she had a family. Like, he is really broken at that point. Like, he now realizes he was played, and we thought it was just about money. No, and then you hear him say, I'm a freak, and he accepted me. And now he realizes that this person who he thought accepted him was actually just manipulating him and conniving his desire just to be understood, even if it's by one person for one thing. And to me, that's very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's Matthew Lillard. He tends to play the color. So, in movies you have like the straight man and then you have the color or whatever the terms are and everything, and Matthew Lillard, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, he was the color to Freddie Prinze Jr.'s straight man.
Oh, totally.
Movies were they in together?
Oh God. Right. Yeah.
So, I think it works. It's almost like, it feels like it's Matthew Lillard's, almost like he's the main character, maybe not the main character, but the movie is seen through his perspective, because the quick cuts, the flashing and everything that happened, the whole editing process throughout the entire movie, it feels like it's from his perspective. Because
it was centered around him. Yeah.
Right. Well, I also think that he's kind of more so still the side character. And this movie, I think this movie really had no direction as far as, because it didn't have really a main actor, because, for a second you thought like Tony Shalhoub's character was going to be kind of like the main character. Then it's his daughter. And then where does she go? I mean,
what happened to Shannon Liz? Like halfway through the movie, she disappears.
Yeah. Not to be seen again.
And that was like the height of her success too.
Going back, sorry, but we skipped that intro. I thought was very well done. The panning of the house and the telling of the story. I really like that, how they went through the house and showed the happiness, and then just through sound bites and showing the condition of the house, telling us what happened.
It reminded me of New Moon in the Twilight series, where it just kept circling.
Why did you just admit you've seen that?
Oh, I watched Twilight. It's on TV. I'll watch it. I read all the books too, because I'm a reader.
I did read all the books. I'll admit that too.
Yeah, I didn't want to, but I mean, like, I'm a reader, so I'm like, I got to read these. I want to watch the movies. I want to read the books and stuff. So, but
talk about the lawyer for just a second. Did anybody else cheer when his ass got murdered?
This is a guy. He's like, he plays this smarmy role.
Oh, so smarmy!
Time I've ever seen him in any movie.
And I don't understand how he didn't clock things happening when he grabbed the suitcase. I was like, does he not notice that shit started moving when you took the suitcase? Like, I would have set it back and then maybe taken a couple out. I don't know. I would have taken as many out till it stopped, till it moved, and then I put it back.
And he probably was just, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a lot of money, it looked like. So he might have been a little distracted at that moment.
I can't be that distracted. I'm sorry. Confused. I can't.
This is my, and maybe I missed it, or maybe we're supposed to just tune it. So I'm going to Cyrus did he tell Benjamin to take, like, okay, once you get my idiot nephew into the house, you can take this thing of money?
Probably.
Okay,
Probably. Because that's what set it off.
Yeah.
Him taking that suitcase.
okay, so
that had to happen.
and Cyrus was
Dumb enough to do it.
well, no, Benjamin was dumb enough to do it, and Cyrus knew he'd never be leaving the building with the money.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That death, though. I, like, gasped.
It was.
That had to be.
Oh, my God.
Had to be the best kill of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And then the sliding down of just the one half.
Oh, that was
And
awesome.
you see him later, and you
And she's like, "Where's the other half?"
yeah, and then you see him later, kind of crumpled on the ground, and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
looks like down there.
Oh,
Good graphics, though, I thought, because I mean, like, even you could see his as he's sliding down, you can see the eyes kind of.
oh my
twitching.
God. I was looking for that too. I looked at his eyes. I was like, are his eyes going to keep moving? Because that would make it super creepy if his eyes are still moving even after. Oh,
You know, and I mean, you got to admit that the CGI in this entire movie, I really thought the special effects were just phenomenal.
I mean, it was legit.
Special effects and the practical effects. The
Yeah.
makeup.
And that's the key to CGI to making good horror is blending them
Exactly.
Yeah, use
and
it
not
as practical as you can. Use
right.
only for little touches here.
Right. Like cutting a human in half. Like that's kind of a hard practical effect. I can forgive the CGI for that, and it's the combination of the two. But when you go all CGI is when you lose it. But yeah, this movie did a good job of blending.
Roger
both.
Ebert said it was one of his favorite special effects and filmed horror movies to date.
Really?
He didn't
Wow.
like the storyline, but he said the way the effects were very good and very convincing.
Yeah.
I can agree with
As bad as it was received, it was kind of lauded for its special effects, its practical effects. I think it's like most of them were taking like 5 hours in the chair to get their
makeup.
prosthetics.
Yeah, the princess was the one that took the longest too.
Yeah,
and
she had so many cuts.
The naked chick?
Just because they had to apply so many cuts, and the rest of it just had to be like body suits and everything.
I would kind of hope that she got paid more than most of the other actors in the film. You know,
Anytime you show a nip, a nip, you're getting paid
to
more.
be fair, I gotta be honest, I am very cheap. And so I refused to pay for this movie. So it was on AMC on demand. But I had a feeling that if nip had been slipped, they cut it out.
Yeah.
They did? All right.
Yeah, well, and you know, one thing I see, me personally, I love this movie. I love this. I've always loved this movie. It's on probably my top 5 favorite horror movies, and it's not even like it's horror, but it's different. I feel like in a way,
because there aren't a lot of deaths for a horror movie.
Right.
You start with all these characters, and you pretty much end with most of them. It's very interesting because usually what makes a horror scary is people are dying everywhere.
Yeah, aside from that opening scene, I think there's 3 people that died.
Right.
Yeah.
Lloyd,
and it just
Matthew and the bitch. Oh no, Kiros and the bitch. So 4.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
We all forgot about her for a second.
yeah.
Yeah, because she.
So.
Oh yeah.
The little turncoat.
Yeah, but you know, and
yeah,
one thing, but I think I love about this movie a lot is just that the whole idea is just it's never been done except for the original. You know what I mean? It's
right.
An idea that nobody has ever thought about it, because we talk about a lot on our podcast how a lot of times the scenery is a character in the movie or in the TV show. So like if
like
you're
the house,
the house is its own character in this movie, and one thing, it just kind of makes you want to, after watching this movie, see the backstory of some of these ghosts.
Yeah, right.
Like have a TV show or something of 13 Ghosts where you explain some of this
It'd
stuff.
Totally be a series.
Oh yeah,
and how Cyrus knew who they were going to be. Like, how did he find these people, and how did he know what kind of spirit they were going to be? Like, that's a whole other story in itself. Him hunting these people down and knowing their role and what they could be for his plan.
Did anybody else feel that the girl whose head was in the box, Did she look very much like Reagan from The Exorcist to anybody else, or just me?
Yeah, no,
She did.
Oh, are you talking about?
she
Are you
did.
talking about the
Yeah.
jackal?
The jackal.
Now that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it.
And that was actually a guy.
I thought that too.
But
yeah.
it looked like a girl that was playing the jackal.
I did. I thought that too. So
Okay,
Yeah.
thank God.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
and the movie was it got a lot more fans and got a lot more praise after it came out on DVD, because on the DVDs they actually go into the background of each of the ghosts, and you have the Breaker, who was a serial killer, but then his spirit is the spirit of the Juggernaut or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, you just kind of go into. I guess it had more of a revolution when the DVDs come out because it had all that explanation.
They have a lot of story. Like, they could have done so much with this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, AMC could have taken it and made it into a series like The Mist, and it could have gone spectacularly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, the whole backstory is very rich backstories for these ghosts. It has to be, because I mean, and even the book, and then even Cyrus, and maybe have a Matthew Lillard type character that they're going out to find these individual ghosts or something, and I mean, it's very sinister reasoning for it all. But at the same time, I think you could really get into the backstory. You even put it in a sequel to it.
Oh, totally. Especially with the book.
And I would like to have known a little bit more of Matthew Lillard's backstory. Like,
yeah,
how
exactly.
he figured out he had those abilities, how Cyrus found him and figured out he could use those abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cyrus just seemed like an evildoer. I mean, I do love that they have him kind of step out in the first scene with that very Dracula-esque type cape and specter. Like, oh, there's the bad. Like, you've clocked him. You knew it was the bad guy. You got no questions asked.
Yeah.
Well, he was the bad guy in Last
He's
Action
Mozart
Hero.
from Last Action Hero. I was just going to say that.
So as soon as I saw him, I'm like, hey, it's that guy.
It's Mozart.
Yeah. Well, just to let our listeners know, we're talking about, obviously, 13 Ghosts. Came out in 2001. It's a movie about this eccentric guy who spends all the family money on collecting these ghosts and building this house, which is actually a machine to open up the eye of hell, basically, to be able to see in the past, present, and future. He wants to have all this power, so he's collecting ghosts, and he's using a medium in the form of Matthew Lillard to do so. This movie was originally a movie in 1960, I think, is when the original came out. And it was done by William Castle, who I don't know if you know that they had a production company. You know the production company Black Castle?
Yes.
So they created that production company to recreate all his movies, because he did these certain
House on the Hill,
cheesy,
right?
House on Haunted Hill, The Tingler, The 13 Ghosts. So this all came from him. And he was known for like gimmicks in his movies and stuff. So like in The Tingler, he had the seats in theaters wired with mild electrical currents to put an extra tingle. And
I remember seeing The Tingler. That movie is creepy.
Yeah, and then with this original movie, you couldn't see the ghosts unless you had your 3D glasses. You had to put your 3D glasses on.
My dad was telling me that. Yep.
Yeah, so they used that same kind of trick in this movie, except this movie, it's what I like to call the Gone in 60 Seconds of horror, because they're collecting different ghosts that they need and putting them in boxes and getting them, ready to go, just kind of.
Well, plus, Gone 60 Seconds was, I felt like the remake was better than the original. Just like with 13 Ghosts, I thought the remake was better than the original,
Yeah, yeah.
So, interestingly, just so you guys know, I went down a rabbit hole for a minute here of the 13 Ghosts 1960.
Mm-hmm.
That is... So the Zorba house in that movie is the Winchester Mystery House located in San Jose.
Oh,
I've been there. That's a creepy house.
Did they give tours or something?
Yeah. That's a museum, and you can go and you can walk. And there's just doors leading to nowhere, like you could, if you go out that door, like you'll drop like 15 feet. There's windows just in ceilings. It's super weird.
The wife took over that house, right? Like
yeah, because she talked to a psychic that said once the house was done, she was going to die.
That's
right. So
right.
she was freaked out and was like, I have to keep building. It doesn't matter where anything goes. So she just had the construction people just keep building and building.
Oh yeah, because Helen Mirren did the remake of it, right? Or because I want to say that there was like a movie about that house, like an older movie, wasn't there?
I know there was one recently, the Winchester. I don't know about an older one, but yeah, Helen Mirren was in the
Let me ask you guys a question about this. Here's a question for both of you. Who is your favorite final girl?
My first instinct was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. I mean, she is a scream queen.
Yeah. Which is another thing that when they talk about like women characters nowadays, and they're like, oh, what was that movie, Annihilation? I didn't see it, so I can't comment on the quality of the movie. But it's like, oh, we have this female-led movie, and it's like, I'm sorry, we've had freaking Sarah Connor, Eleanor Ripley, like strong female characters have been around forever, and it wasn't a thing. James Cameron wasn't like, I'm going to make this strong female character. Eleanor Ripley just happened to be a female, and to me, that's what you want. You don't want this intentional like, she's just got to be badass female. It was like, no, Sarah Connor, Eleanor. It's pandering, and I don't like Sarah Connor, Eleanor Ripley were just badass straight off. It was not about them being female. It was just them being badass.
The whole genre of horror you have, I mean, just nothing. Usually, it's the female that survives the horror.
Right.
Movie.
Jamie Lee Curtis, she was a badass, like so badass, and now it's like they're doing it to try and which is what I know we're like going off. But one of the things about the last Terminator movie I watched, and it was like they were trying so hard to make these badass female characters, and I was like, Sarah Connor was not trying this hard. In Terminator 2, like she just was bad. Like her first scene, you're just like, holy
you got her bed up on the end, and she did pull-ups on her bed.
But that
dude,
last one, it was like you said, I mean, even though Sarah Connor was in that last one that just came out, she really wasn't the badass in the movie. She at all. The Terminator was,
She seemed like she was just kind of looking around, like didn't know what to do.
Yeah, but even with the Terminator, it was these lines that they were trying to make her sound Sarah Connor up, the strong woman. Like,
no,
she's gonna. First of all, no, you're not. Like, second of all, like it's not like. And they had this rivalry that wasn't necessary, and it was just very much. It felt very I just watched it, and for me, it just felt very pandering to trying to be female led, and it was just like, oh, because the female. Spoiler alert: the female is like the new John Connor, and it's just like, okay, it's not. You didn't write this.
Yeah. Then.
Right. It wasn't natural. It was like, let's do this to show how cool women are.
Well, let me ask you this then. Like, what'd you think of the Ghostbusters newest? Not the one that's about to come out, but the
female one. Didn't watch it.
You're not missing much.
No, the best part of that movie was Chris Hemsworth was the man.
Love that cast, but I wasn't. And I have said this before, there are certain movies from the 80s that if the studio tries to bring these back, I will burn it down. Gremlins.
Oh, they better not touch Gremlins.
Burning it down. And I didn't realize I felt that way until they brought back Ghostbusters, and then I was like,
you're like, wait, now I need a list.
See, there would have been a way to do and I didn't see it, but I feel like if those females had been the daughters of the original four men, so they're taking over the family porch, so it's more of a continuation of the story, and maybe you see those original four giving their daughters some advice, like they're too old, so their daughters are taking over, and their daughters are. I just think that might have been
some kind of connection to the original.
I feel like that would be better. Yeah.
Well, if you notice this new one, if you know about anything about the newest one that's about to come out, they're actually taking that idea, but I believe they're taking the character Harold Ramis played.
Egon, yeah.
I believe that's his family.
They're basically the grandkids of Egon.
Okay.
So
Okay. I love Egon.
They got all the gear and the
Rest in
Ecto One.
peace,
That's all
obviously.
in the barn and everything. So
Just so you guys know, my favorite final girl is Ellen Griswold, Clark's wife.
yes.
Everything that man has put her through. So she's my favorite.
Oh man.
she has so much patience.
Yes.
I feel anybody, like, if you popped that character into a real horror movie,
Oh,
she
absolutely.
She would survive.
Because life has been preparing her. It's like,
Yes.
guys, the National Guard broke down my house on Christmas Eve. I got this.
I mean, she's got to be the most patient wife in history.
Oh,
I mean,
ever. I would have.
But no,
You know, Clark
I would have been done with
Jamie
Clark.
Lee Curtis. I was watching the original Halloween today in preparation for our recording tomorrow that we're doing. And what was so funny, last night we get to the bar. We were out celebrating our anniversary, so we met up with some friends there. And Halloween was on. And I go to Ed. I go, Lori's so good. She's just humping this pumpkin all over town. And he goes to me, who's Lori?
Oh wow!
And
Oh,
I
no.
immediately realized. I was like, 3 years, that might be the capper.
Well, it was a good run, sweetie, but
It's a good run, yeah.
And he admitted to me that he is not entirely sure he's ever seen the original Halloween.
Yep.
you know, it's when I find somebody that like is like, okay, you should have seen this by now or whatever.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like flabbergasted, but I also get excited.
Because then you get to show it to
Yeah,
them.
it's rare to experience that type, an epic movie like that or a classic
That's
movie.
how
Right.
I showed him The Shining. Because I hadn't seen that either. My husband's not a big horror fan.
I gotcha.
Yeah, my wife's not a big movie fan until she met me, basically, and so I'm like slowly, trying to introduce her to these classic movies, but it's like she had never seen Goonies. Like I'm like,
Oof.
where did you grow up with, at that never saw Goonies in your entire
She grew up
life?
in the cave.
Yes, and it's like it blows me away.
Well, there's a lot she has. Like she
Yeah.
has never seen Star Wars, or at least
Yeah,
there's a lot of. different
Yeah.
things
I
she
have
has.
seen Star Wars 4, 5, 6. And then did they release them 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
They did 1, 2,
2,
3, and then just recently.
Okay, then I've seen 1 and I've seen 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Well, see, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna ask a woman's age or not whatnot, but I know.
Probably ask. I'm turning 39 December 17th.
Okay. So, see, I just turned 39 in January, so I'll be turning 40 next.
yeah.
So we're in the same generation there, I'm guessing.
Well, so
Yeah.
last week we did a podcast with a very dear friend.
Oh, God.
Almost 10 years. He just turned 30, so there's almost 10 years between us.
He was,
And sometimes he would say things about how old he was when he saw things, and Jen and I are just looking at each other like, "Fuck you, dude."
he that's that author of The Bad Part.
yes.
That's Brandon. Yeah.
And he's like, I was 4 when Nightmare Before Christmas came out. And I was like, you.
What? Get the fuck out.
Jeez.
I've heard
He
people
was-
saying like Lord of the Rings are old movies and stuff like that. And I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
in college. Got me.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
So let me with 13 Ghosts, right?
The movie we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh yeah.
that thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
That thing,
we
okay.
get along great as like podcast partners because listening to you guys, I knew you didn't fear a tangent either.
no,
We enjoy tangents.
yeah. Well, especially because I'm the one that my brother is usually the one that's having to pull us back at random
Which
moments.
one of you is the older one?
I am Drew. I'm the
Drew's
oldest one,
older.
so-
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and another thing is, from what we're told, we also do sound a lot alike.
You
on
do,
the microphone.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
you
kind of
do.
hard to tell the difference, but no, it's just I think with do you think that maybe some of the costumes and some of the makeup they did on some of these ghosts were a little bit much and almost kind of cartoonish? Like I felt like the guy with the stakes,
hammer.
The nail
the hammer.
guys.
Yeah, I thought-
Yeah.
Him.
Hey, what is it? Pinhead on steroids.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, the similarities between the story of Pinhead and this is kind of, you know, you got the mechanical cold box, the metal box that you're having, you know, that releases hell, you know, it's almost kind of the same.
That was more about, that was torture for pleasure as well, too.
Yeah, so, that's true.
Ooh. Which, by the way, a side quest, I was trying to be excited about the house. Like, they were trying to get this feeling of like, oh my God, I would love to live here. I never got that feeling. Like, fucking sucks. I was like, oh, it's all
like,
glass.
Sell everything in the inside, then sell the house, and then just live on the land. Put that nice house on the land.
When she like flops on the bed, she's like, oh my God, I just could not feel it. I was like, no, I had a better feeling in the Disney movie Smart House. I was like, in the Smart House on the Disney Channel movie, I was like, yes, that's the house I would want to live in.
Let's go ahead.
Or the house in Eureka, the underground house in Eureka.
Yeah, right. Something like that. But this house, I could never get that feeling of like, oh my God, I don't know if it was the Latin on etchings in the windows. But
did you
know, no privacy.
That's always a big...
that whole thing.
Did you guys feel like with the house was like... you know, it was kind of like the TARDIS. I felt like the house
totally.
Like you see on the outside and you're like, okay, it's not huge. It's a big house, but it's not huge. But then you get inside and they're spending 10, 20 minutes just in the basement alone with all those boxes and stuff like that. You just feel like they should be hitting stairs. Yes, they should be able to see the stairs from either end of the hallway.
And what was that glass made out of? They said some kind of like
like bulletproof.
Yeah, they tried to make it up for the movie. It was like this make out of
spiritual.
Like, okay, so it's bulletproof. Okay, just say bulletproof,
soundproof, all that. But no, I really felt like the house was just so much bigger on the inside than it was from the outside. And
that's fair, yeah,
because it was like and then where did the kid go? Like, I mean, literally. Where was there? It was glass walls. Like, how could you not see that kid?
You're right. How can we not? I guess maybe that's part of the mystery. I don't know. But I was like, where did the kids go? Because then it became just about
Cyrus.
The dad and Matthew Lillard.
Let's be thankful because neither one of those kids was doing good work.
No,
and like you said, you had Shannon.
No,
Elizabeth,
they wouldn't have been my kids.
Of her fame here, and then she's not even.
She had fame,
right?
Yeah, right.
And they got her for the name.
Oh yeah,
they got her because she was Shannon Elizabeth,
that girl
and then
from
they're
American
like,
Pie and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're like
from okay.
Well, it's probably they probably could afford her because she wasn't in a lot of the movie. They're like, we can get her Shannon Elizabeth because she's only going to be in a quarter of the movie.
Let me ask you another question. Here's a plot hole I found on the movie too, was that, okay, they were very poor. They were living in what it seemed like maybe a 2-bedroom apartment.
But they could afford a helper?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think he needs to reassess his finances because maybe
get an accountant.
A lot better.
Yeah.
Isn't he a math teacher? Horrible.
And she was like not just like a help, but like a 24-hour like. I'm going to move with you.
She's a live-in nanny.
Yeah, she wasn't making all the greatest decisions. You could tell in her life, and then even then she didn't cook. She, it's like, what did she do? It's
what is
she didn't do anything. She watched this 10-year-old boy who, when I was 10, my parents were like, lock the door, don't let anybody in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, her name is her real name is Raw. Well, her screen name, or stage name, I guess, would be Raw Digga.
She's a rapper.
She was a rapper,
but
she was like part of Busta Rhymes crew or something like that. But they had to add in that scene at the end where she's scratching the record, messing with the controls and everything.
But at the end of the movie, when the credits are rolling, she's actually rapping.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, is that her?
That's her rapping that song. So
I didn't stay for the credits. It was hard.
Really?
I know. Well,
that's how they got her.
And it's also, you kind of think about it, right? All the ghosts got out, right? So, what was their next stage there? I mean, do they go back haunting, the places they
left?
Were at?
They left peacefully. Why didn't they kill? They're violent ghosts. Why didn't they kill those people before they left?
Yeah.
Right. I was kind of confused. And then, so was Cyrus actually? So he wasn't actually dead, right?
He faked his death
because he moved his glasses down and still.
Right. And then he beat up the dad, and so I was like, but so he left his makeup on.
No, I was wondering that too because
how long are you gonna wear this makeup? Because it's probably been like a week or two. Are you gonna wash it off?
I mean,
at least
longer. Yeah.
Like the lawyer had to go to the house. Like they had to set up this was sometimes. I'm like, so he just stayed in his
the only thing I can
undead
think of the reason
costume.
they did that is because
I know what you're about to say.
they told Tony Shalhoub, they told Monk that that they needed a
Monk,
sacrifice to stop the machine, but really they needed the sacrifice to start
Open
the
it up,
machine, to
yeah.
open, to get it going. And so I think they
Get it
kind of had
going.
to trick him into doing that by
Oh.
showing him as it. So he probably just dressed up again. That's the only thing I can think of.
No, he had to go to a makeup
Was
artist
trying to
do
be a
something like
ghost.
that because you can't
Okay.
do that to yourself in front of a mirror.
Dude, have you seen these YouTube tutorials?
Oh, well, okay, I'll give you
These
that.
people doing makeup on themselves.
Okay,
It's crazy.
I'll give you that. I'll
I'm
give you that.
telling you, Elicia goddess. She could have done that every day. No worries.
Yeah.
She's lovely. If you
Oh man,
That
she does some horror looks and they're really good.
that's awesome. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
and do you know she does makeup tutorials while telling true
She's
crime
telling-
stories. She's just
Yeah.
great.
She's pretty
That
great.
is crazy.
Who-
it's
what's her name?
It's a YouTube star, right?
Yeah,
Or a YouTube person.
Elicia.
Is that the one where she like turns the lights off and it looks like her? You can see like her spine behind her, but it's really painted on her
Lord.
stomach.
No,
It's
No.
like she paints the rest of her black. Okay.
no,
No,
Bailey
she's like
wore,
in the like.
real makeup, like everyday looks.
But while telling true
It's-
crime stories. It's
Oh,
interesting.
I have seen that. Yep,
Yeah.
I have seen that before because I remember the telling the true crime stories or something. So,
She's really good.
Let me ask you a question. Why was Matthew Lillard? Why was Dennis at that house? He was looking for cash, right? Because he said, "Where'd you
Right,
hide your cash, man?"
Yeah.
But why would he think that guy would have just? Does he have like a mattress full of cash?
I said the exact same thing while I was watching. I was like, so you think that he just has cash, like, chilling in his basement?
He's like Scrooge McDuck swimming in this pool of
he
cash.
just has a silo of
Okay,
cash.
so you guys completely missed it. So I'll help you.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
help me out.
I'm gonna not. You see him touch Cyrus's shoulder.
Right.
He's reading Cyrus. He sees
Oh.
the house. He sees everything in the house, and yes,
Uh-huh.
he sees the bag of cash. He sees it.
Oh, the
Oh,
one
he
that was
touches
meant for the
it.
lawyer.
Cyrus literally pulls his
Oh.
and goes, "Don't go snooping too hard." That's
Oh,
what
got
he was
it.
looking at. Was
and that cash
Okay.
he saw was the one meant for the lawyer, right?
correct.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that here, so then I won't sound stupid on our podcast.
Remember, for our podcast, I'm in charge of editing.
I was just saying, Alicia's squaring us away here.
Yeah.
Jen has to do it to me all the time on our podcast. I miss things. I even texted her and I was like, I think I missed something. And the thing I missed was that the lawyer was in on it. I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, so the lawyer's in on this, right?
Obviously, I mean,
I'm sorry. How stupid
Yeah.
do you have to be to think you're getting out of the house with that bag of cash?
That's what I'm saying. Like I would have felt that stuff moving once I grabbed the bag.
That out. Idiot.
I mean, and on top of that, it's like, you know, there was a couple stacks in there, right? So why did you have to lift up the bag? I mean, I guess that was just, you know, part of to move the story along, you know, and all that fun stuff. But, you know, I just thought, like, with Cyrus, he was kind of a truly, like, evil character. You know, I mean, he was obviously, you know, he didn't care about who he killed. He
was going for greatness.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said it.
Yeah, he just wanted to be the most powerful person on the planet, basically.
well,
you
yeah,
know?
he kills that. Once again, does anybody remember that woman's name? Oh no, none of us good.
No.
You remember?
No,
who?
not at all.
Exactly.
Single one of us. Hold on, I'll look it up because this is rude. One of us.
While you're looking that up, my favorite is her trying to like flirt with the lawyer, and she like hits the lawyer when she's like trying to flirt with him, but she like hits him and he's just like not impressed. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I thought it was funny.
Beth David sits and she plays Kalina.
Yeah.
Kalina.
I do remember her from Bicentennial Man.
Yeah, she's also in Matilda and
There it is.
Oh, she was the teacher in Matilda, right? That is
Matilda.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right.
I knew her from something.
She's in a lot of stuff.
But she looks very late 90s Alyssa Milano in this.
Oh,
movie.
She really
totally.
does.
She's in Mad Men.
She was in Fallen. That's one of my favorite like thriller.
Fallen is so freaking
man.
scary.
I've never seen it.
That
It's
movie
got John
gets
Goodman
me to my like.
and Denzel.
Oh, Denzel
I haven't
Washington,
seen it.
yeah,
I need to
yeah.
watch it.
You have not seen this movie?
That movie.
Apparently she's
Oh,
Schindler's List.
Oh, she was. Yeah,
Schindler's
she
List.
was on Schindler's List.
What's she?
She was one of the girls on. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I can think of it now. Yeah,
but
Um,
Fallen has one of those. I can't even remember the song right now, and I don't want to because
it's
that
creepy.
movie ruined the song for
They
me.
whistle
But
it, right?
yeah, and it's that's what the demon whistles. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's so creepy, and it ruins the song for
It
you for
does.
a while. I've managed to block it out for right now, so I'm just not gonna.
So
remember
if
what
I
the song
started
is.
if I started whistling, would that be bad?
If you whistled the right song, it would be bad.
well, like and with Fallen 2 is what's so great about it is it's one of those movies that you don't, you're expecting a good ending, but it's not really a good ending. Like it's not like a happy ending at the end of it type movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't
So-
expect to be like, oh, yay.
Yay!
We
No.
won.
It's like The Mist.
Wondering
Yes.
if the kid who played Bobby did anything after 13 Ghosts. I'd like
Okay.
people to know no.
Wow.
And little Bobby.
That was
Poor
it.
little Bobby.
Little Bobby.
He
Who
did
was
like
obsessed-
an
who was obsessed with
episode of
Jack?
House before, and that was about it.
Which the son was like Hispanic and the daughter was like just white.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused at the family genes. I was like, what's happening
Well,
here?
Apparently, Shannon Elizabeth is Arabic, or not Arabic. Arabic's the
Oh.
No, that's
language.
what it was
but,
saying.
But Arabic is a language,
Okay,
not a nationality.
Oh, all right.
Lebanese or something.
Yeah, but I did not know that
Oh, my
she was of
goodness.
that descent. That's kind of crazy, but.
But and you said
Yeah,
that
that's
about the
funny.
kid. It's Steve
Okay,
Beck,
but
the
She
director.
was born in Houston. And her mother's English, Irish, and German. Oh,
Yeah, but it was
a quarter Lebanese, okay?
yeah.
There you go. Just
Hey,
a
she's
quarter.
got something. She got something.
For one
No,
okay,
but
she was
it's
born
there,
in
it's
Houston,
there.
Texas.
Well, and you had mentioned the boy who was only, did this in a House episode. Steve Beck, who directed this movie, he only did this movie and Ghost Ship. That's the only thing he ever directed.
I love the opening scene of Ghost Ship.
That's one of the
that-
most epic openings, though.
It's so. I was just gonna say that it's so. I saw someone posted a clip of it on Facebook, and I was like, "What?"
saw it.
I was like,
She
"This is
every time.
amazing."
She was just short enough.
Because I don't know if you guys ever watch Supernatural, but they
All the
I-
time.
They do. I've heard their podcast.
I'm literally like a huge Supernatural fan, right?
You guys were talking about who's the king of hell?
Crowley.
Crowley. Yeah, they were talking about Crowley the other day.
Yeah,
That's
He,
all Alicia. Jen hasn't gotten up to Crowley yet.
Not yet.
I'm planning on
Okay.
ways to marry him.
yeah, I got that.
What can I say? I like him.
You're right.
Hey, Jensen
Own hellhounds. I mean,
Yeah,
Jensen Ackles is actually going to be on The Boys next season too.
Yep.
He just
Yes.
casted,
so that might
And
motivate me to continue watching it because I gotta be honest. I'm just-
well, and Jared Padalecki, he's going to be on Walker Texas Ranger, the reboot.
Oh God,
But I
they're rebooting that.
see that. Give J-Ped a nice old. Well, they're from
If
Texas,
they
both
make-
of them. J-Ped.
Yeah, they live in Austin actually.
Yeah.
Both of them do.
Yeah. Have you gone to their distillery? Their brewing company.
No, but I've been to Jason Lee of Mallrats and Clerks fame.
Did you
He,
feel like
he-
you needed to tell people who he was?
Well, yeah, just in case people don't know who it is.
These
But
young kids today. These
Yeah,
young
yeah,
kids today. They don't know what we're talking
So-
about.
and he lives in Denton here. I think he abandoned Scientology. He came here and moved to Denton, which is like right down the road from us. And so he has a restaurant. So I have been to that restaurant,
Oh,
but I
okay.
haven't been to their distillery yet.
So many people abandoning the Scientology.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
But no, I was just getting to it when I said with Supernatural. Supernatural does an episode kind of like Ghost Ship, and I felt that episode was better than the whole movie of Ghost Ship. To be honest with you,
Except for
That's
the
not hard to
opening
do.
scene.
yeah,
That's-
except for
that's
the
not
opening
hard to
scene.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So I mean,
That's
he
a
just did
strong
those-
open for such a movie.
But I mean, before he did this, he was a visual arts director for like Hunt for Red October, The Abyss, Indiana
That
Jones
was
and
a
the
good
Last
movie.
Crusade. I don't know what happened.
Like what?
You can see where those visual arts came into play. Like he tried to pivot from clearly his skill set, and it failed.
Yeah, you got style over substance, not as much on the plot, but more on the visuals.
Right, exactly. Just sometimes if you're really fantastic at something, don't try to pivot.
No,
right.
Don't pivot. Don't pivot.
Stay in your lane.
Don't do that. Right. Just write it out. Write it to the rims. Like, just wait till everybody hates that you're doing that.
Sometimes when a man who may or may not have been hated on an HBO show decides that he should try stand-up, it's not going to work. And I'm looking at you, Piven. Nobody else wants to say I will.
Well, either him or Michael Rappaport. I can't stand Michael Rappaport.
I can't either.
Okay. Yeah.
He's just a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, he's like the Randy.
I know he's also a New Yorker. But...
Oh God, you don't want to be the Randy Quaid of anything.
Is I love him as an actor.
Who?
Love Rappaport. Love everything he's done. And so I try to follow him because I enjoy him. And I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm just like, I can't. I'm like, you got to stop, Mike. You just got to stop for me, babe.
You like him as an actor, but just not.
Yes, I enjoyed him in Deep Blue Sea.
That's how I am with Sean Penn. Like he's an amazing actor, but I just ignore his.
That's how I am with Carrie Ells. Carrie Ells,
Carrie Elways.
Elwes. In the Saw movies, he did Princess Bride. He was phenomenal in that one, and he was phenomenal in the Saw.
Men in Tights.
But yeah, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, he was awesome. But I mean, just when he plays kind of like that a-hole on screen, like you really believe it. So you hate him, but at the same time, you realize he's that good of an actor to make you hate him for a character that he's not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's it's always been like that with Carrie Ells. It's very hard to see him. I love his acting and I love his movies, but it's just I don't like him. It's his characters are so good.
He does it so well. Because the first thing you saw him in was Princess Bride, and you liked him.
Yes,
in that.
yes.
But then after that, you're like, fuck
yeah.
Like just say as you wish, okay? That's all I want to hear.
Right, as you wish. Yeah.
So, was there any truly was there any moments in this that was scary to you, or at least a little unnerving?
I would say the ghost that unnerved me the most was the great child and the dire mother.
That was so gross. I could not with that.
Pretty gross.
Because so first of all, I am a mom. And I have to be honest that I am a mom with a little bit of a food problem herself. But my heart always breaks when I see truly obese kids.
Yes, agreed.
I was out at a Chinese buffet once, and this kid literally, his parents let him have soda after soda after soda. Like, it was breaking my heart. And one of the reasons it was breaking my heart is because I know, like, if you get into that habit as a child, you can't. It's so much harder to break it as an adult. Like, I have cousins who were given much better eating templates as children. So as adults, they're much healthier. I had a grandmother whom I love and adore, and she did a great job raising me. But like, she allowed me to go to bed like after eating tons of sweets, to the point where, like, even now, some nights if I don't have like a little sweet before bed, it's hard for me to fall asleep. Like, it's messed up. So that image really like struck me, because like as a mother you feel the pain. So seeing the mother's face, like, oh my God, I allowed this to happen to my child, and then that child who's just sitting there eating everything under the sun, even though it's a grown man at this point, that was heartbreaking to me. That and
because at that age, their brain is like a sponge. So I mean, it goes for learning, especially for learning, whether it's, you're learning academically or you're learning behaviors. Yeah. That's now ingrained in you, and it's hard to break that later in life.
Yeah.
And what's crazy too with some of these ghosts, it's like, some of them really, I mean, how are they going to really hurt you? I mean, like the body, the one where it was just the torso. It's like,
yeah, there's some of them that
bro.
like the boy with the arrow in his head. He really doesn't do much.
Yeah, and then the girl on the what do they call it? Colonialism.
I know which one you're
Colonials, yeah. The Pilgrimess, is that the one?
Yes, Pilgrimess. Yeah, and it's kind of like, okay, what is she gonna do? I mean, she's gonna chase you with her hands tied up,
That's the bound woman, yeah.
Yeah, the death that scared me was the lawyer. Because that seems very horrible to me. Like to just that's rough. No, and then the ghost that scared me, I would say, was the who was it? Oh, well, when she was not the ghost in particular, but just when Shannon Elizabeth was thrown up against the wall and she was flashing her face.
Yeah. The jackal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the part that unnerved me the most was the kid going down into the basement, and the two voices, the one ghost saying, "Come down here," and the other
and saying your name. That's why you show your kids horror movies.
Yeah, and
so that way when they're in those situations, they're like, "No, I know I'm not supposed to fuck with that."
Not only that, it was the kid's mother was saying, "Don't come down here," and like you can kind of like the panic in her voice, like, "Oh, come down and play with us, Bobby," and like, "Don't come down here, Bobby," or whatever.
I think I'm going to learn to
creeped out by that.
Yeah. You got one that's saying, "Don't come down here," and then the other one saying, "Come down there." It's like, okay, so should I listen to the creepy voice that's saying to come down to the dark basement that I've never been to,
right?
Where nobody else is down there? Or should I just stay upstairs where everybody else is and it's nice and bright up here?
But that being said, it was a bright, modern house. It wasn't like a creepy house or anything. And plus, he thought that his sister and that nanny were.
I mean, talk about natural sunlight, natural lighting. Like that's all you're gonna get in there.
I can't deal with that much sunlight.
I can't do no curtains. I'm not doing no curtains. Like that's not a thing that I can do.
Yeah. Now, hey, let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think that, did they really need to bring back Matthew Lillard after he died, just to kind of encourage him? Yeah.
I agree.
I'm going to be honest. Yes, I cried.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of odd, that they just decided. I mean, I understand that they're kind of like.
Well, and he told the dad what to do. He's like,
and he's a lot more comfortable and less, stressed because you don't have to worry about.
I think it was cool because it showed that he wasn't in that state anymore.
Right. He's not having seizures. He's like, he can finally rest.
And more Matthew Lillard is always good for him.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. So
we watched. I went to Comic-Con. I go to Comic-Con every year, but we were
so jealous.
And we were watching Without a Paddle in the hotel room. Really? And we go to the convention, me and my family. So then we go to the convention center and Matthew Lillard is standing like right in front of us. And we're like, what? It was kind of cool because we had just seen him on TV. Wow. And then he's standing. That's what I love about Comic-Con is that you have those kind of moments.
Yeah. I think Matthew Lillard plays a good
secondary character.
Like Without a Paddle, he was good and everything, but I mean, like Dax Shepard stole that movie,
Yeah,
he was the wild one or whatever.
She's All That. He kind of stole the show with that "Give It to Me" dance routine.
Yes. Right? Yeah. And then, like I said, the Scream movie. It's like the entire series. Dewey is my favorite, but in the first movie, it's Matthew Lillard Stu that I think steals the show.
Yep.
So. Well, anyways, I think we're going to wrap this thing up, but I guess your general impressions. What did you guys think of the movie?
Oh, geez. Not even Tony Shalhoub could save it. And even Tony Shalhoub, one of the only good things about Mrs. Maisel season 3, besides, whatever. But that's there.
I think he even holds a record for his so many Emmy wins or something like that, doesn't he?
He's such a great actor. I love Tony Shalhoub
since Wings.
So much.
I loved him since Men in Black. I think that's
Men in Black. Oh my god, I just watched that, and he just that scene. He steals the show. Like you're with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and you make that a memorable scene. How do you do that? Like you're Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and you're still a memorable character.
I feel like Tony Shalhoub, like he's got a very good manager. He has to because
Oh my God.
because here's the thing, like he's very typecasted as an actor. Like he can't play like that action role. I don't feel like, you know what I mean? And he
Oh yeah.
barely got away with this, and not even so much playing in this horror genre. I mean, it's not his cup of tea really, and I feel like you got to have a great agent to make him look this good, and to only pick parts that will fit him as an actor. Where you see a lot of actors, like even Matthew Lillard, to a point, can play in a lot of different type of roles. You know what I mean? So comedies, but Tony Shalhoub, like I feel like he can only play in certain kind of roles, so he must have.
He sticks with his strength.
Yes,
He
exactly.
sticks with his strength. Yeah.
Well, and he has won a Golden Globe, 6 Screen Actors Guilds, and 4 Primetime Emmys.
Not surprised.
Not surprised.
Yeah. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Can you guys guess which show has won the most Primetime Emmy Awards ever?
ER.
No. I will give you
Sopranos?
the year it aired. It aired in 1976.
Oh well. Then
MASH.
No.
Really?
Saturday Night Live.
I
Well,
don't count that.
Listen. I'm not saying it should have. Okay? Listen, I just watched. Do you guys watch Good Mythical Morning?
I've seen some episodes of that. I watch that every once in a while.
I'm big
What are those?
fans. A few years ago, they did worst Halloween candies ranked. And one of my favorite candies, the Necco wafer, won as worst candy. And I don't think it should have, but
But see,
does that mean we're
I
not?
got personally attacked during that because it was like 10 of my favorite candies competing against each other for worst.
Wow. Does that mean they weren't counting like candy corn?
Candy corn did not. Candy corn was on the list, didn't win, or did it?
Yeah, I don't like candy corn, but I like the candy pumpkins, and people say they're the same flavor, but I don't think.
I don't think they are either. No, I wholeheartedly agree. No, it was black licorice, good and plenty's, candy corn, butterscotch, almond joy, banana Laffy Taffy, Necco wafers. I don't remember the other ones.
One of my favorites.
Whoppers.
Oh, Whoppers. Yeah, one of my favorites is black jelly beans. I
Love black licorice. Love it.
Black
To
licorice.
the point where I didn't know you weren't supposed to eat it during pregnancy, because it can make your blood pressure spike.
Oh God.
Yeah.
See, that's just any candy. What candy is it? That's a problem. That's the thing you should not.
Yeah,
be
and if you're watching a
candy-
horror movie and eating black licorice, and your blood pressure
right,
is
that's
higher.
Did you know that candy corn can be stacked up to look like a cob of corn? Which I'm like, that's the only candy that has to disguise itself as a vegetable.
That's how you know it's bad.
And technically, it's not even a vegetable. I mean, it's a starch. You know.
Don't you tell me that.
She said, "Don't you tell me that."
I've been ignoring that fact for 38 years happily, and I'd like to continue to do so.
I'm sorry. I thought 13 Ghosts was fun.
I agree.
I think it would have been more fun with more characters. I think if it had been more characters that you didn't care about, that you would like to see die, it would have been more. But to have this small family that you actually cared about and like you didn't really want to see any of them, and none of them died, kind of took away from the potential, because you would have wanted to see each person get killed by a ghost.
I seriously thought that Nanny was going to die.
Person, or,
Were you guys surprised that she didn't die?
well, her being black, yes, I was. Oh, and for listeners, I am black, so I can say these things.
Well,
See?
see, that's why we don't say these things. Just saying.
Exactly. I'm letting your listeners know I'm black.
Yes.
I can say these things. The fact that she's black, I was surprised that she made
I
it.
loved it when she was
very
like, I
happy.
quit.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I love how they ended it. They didn't show like the family hugging and walking off. She's like,
No,
"I
it was
quit."
her.
It just goes up.
But here's my
I
other
quit.
thing.
Yep.
This uncle that you haven't heard from, who looks fairly healthy in that video. Just saying.
Yeah. No,
died.
there weren't any questions asked about
No
that.
question. Not a one. A question. How did he die? Follow-up question.
I need a house.
I need a death certificate. Thank you.
For real.
I need a house. Fuck it. I don't care.
When's the funeral?
I mean, he spent all that money on his house. So I mean, the dude definitely couldn't have had that much money just laying around. Because I mean, he was known as the guy that basically spent the family fortune. Yet he had all this money to pay all these people and the lawyers, and it's like obviously he didn't do what they were accusing him.
Maybe he had just run out.
That was my other favorite line, was when he was like, he squandered the money. And the daughter's like, we have money? And then Tony Shalhoub was like, no, he
squandered it.
I was like, that's awesome.
Like, I have an idiot for a daughter.
That's exactly right. She's like, we have money? He's like, no, he squandered it.
My daughter doesn't know what the word squandered means. Hold on.
He's like, I'm a teacher, and my daughter isn't.
Like, I was from American Pie.
I was a bag of rocks.
An idiot in that movie. So.
She has no comprehension, communication skills.
Cody's like, I will go on to play a Columbia professor. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. If I were Cyrus, I would have had a side house. Like, I'll build the machine, but I'm not living on top of that shit. Like,
for real.
I'll have a house like a mile down the way.
Especially when you know it's real. Like it's not like
right.
People, you know, the other family, when they first get there, they assume that this is all fake. But I mean, he knows it's real, and he knows he's like truly like obviously evil.
He's got these
most
in
people
his house. He's like, I'm just gonna take a bath. I'm gonna have a nice leisurely bubble bath, knowing that like
for real.
And you're trying to take a bath, and you keep hearing, "I'm sorry."
And he's the only person that lives there. But did you notice that they were finding glasses everywhere in that house? Like the glasses they're wearing.
Were they finding them, or because I know Matthew Lillard had a pair? And
no, he found them. He found them because he didn't have nothing on him. I mean, he could have had them
when
in
he walked in.
maybe,
Yeah.
But I mean, they were finding glasses.
Matthew Lillard had his.
Okay.
But and actually, now that we're saying that, I feel like that was a throwback to the original movie where you had to have
back to the original movie. I looked it up.
Yeah.
That's the only throwback to the original movie.
Because I didn't think about that till we just said that, and you couldn't see the ghost unless you had the glasses in there. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't relate the two till just now. Well, see, I don't know if you guys did.
We tend to look at facts for the movies too, just to make sure we got some.
But it would be very rude if the three white people called the one black person slow on the podcast. We're not going to do that.
No, I just realized that too. I love realizing stuff on
that's a cool like that's something I'm glad I didn't look up, that I just kind of was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, that's a throwback.
For the record, Alicia does the research on our podcast.
It's fine. Yeah. Hey, I look at the trivia on IMDb, okay? I glance at it.
It's actually on.
She glances. I'm over here taking notes for days.
Yeah, see, I'm the preparer and trying to organize a thing. Drew's like, I looked at a few things, so it sounds like it's kind of the same things over there.
I'm not in school anymore. I've been out of school for a long time. I don't want to write anything down.
I don't have time for that, you know?
He begrudgingly has a notebook now, but that's about as far as I can get him.
Elicia will be like, oh, I have all these pages of notes, and I try to write notes, and I have like a quarter of a page.
We started the
3 pages just on the original Halloween, and I haven't even looked up like my facts yet. So.
We started the Scream episode. He goes, I came prepared. I wrote notes. I'm like, sweet. He had like 6 words written down.
But that's how I remember stuff. I just wear like one word things on the page, and I know exactly where I'm going with that. And you know, that's just it's like shorthand or something.
Look,
absolutely,
that's what makes
it's
a good show. We're working on the fly, you know.
I mean, I have notes, but I'm also drinking heavily every time we podcast. It's a treat.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I'm on my second
I tried
drink,
the mind-altering thing when we first started this to see if it would loosen me up a little bit. But if you hear the first episode, you can hear it. I'm just like, wait, what are we talking about?
Like true?
So, well, guys, I want to really thank you guys for coming on to the show. I appreciate you guys taking the time on a Sunday to get on with us and talk about the silly movie that we wanted to talk about. You guys gave us some great insight. We had some great back and forth. I think I really appreciate it. You guys are welcome on anytime you guys want to talk about a movie or whatever. Shoot us an email, whatever it may be. We'll have you guys on anytime.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Yes, please. Awesome. We have to get you guys on with us.
Absolutely,
I am down for it.
Yeah, that would be fun. You tell us what movie you want to do.
Yeah, we'll tweet you. We'll tweet you what our favorite movies are, and see when you have some time to do that.
Sounds.
And you can do the original and the remake, or just one or the other.
Whatever
you guys do.
I was actually talking to Matt about this, doing like a Little Shop of Horrors podcast.
But you guys usually do like originals and remakes, right?
We break from that from time to time. We're doing for Thanksgiving. We're doing Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, I was just about to say Thanksgiving.
Which is funny. You know why I know about that movie? I was at a bar in Culver City. Cute guy at the table. Okay, if he hears this, whatever. Cute guy sitting there. I ended up talking to him with my friend, and he's like, "Oh, I just made this movie called Thanksgiving," and I was like, "That's cool." Yes, that's awesome. Why I know about the movie is because I've met the guy who made it, created it, all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Him and his brother. Yeah. So I messaged him on Facebook. We're hopefully going to get him on the show. He hasn't answered me yet.
I can't wait to hear that. But, if we maybe do The Fly. Remember, there's like a really bold black and white fly, and then there's the Jeff Goldblum
fly.
And then what about Nightmare?
The Brundle fly.
Not Nightmare, but I
was going to say they already did Nightmare.
No, the Christmas one where the Santa Claus.
Krampus.
We could do the Krampus one, but I was thinking the one about the Black Christmas.
We're doing that one. That's on our
Christmas
schedule.
Is this Christmas season, so please.
That's on our schedule.
Yes, I think that'd be a good one for us.
Yeah, because we're obsessed with Christmas. So.
Okay. So we'll get you on one of those. I'll send you what dates we're recording those.
That sounds great. Awesome. And how can people find you?
Horror and Heels on everything: Gmail, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yep.
Right. That's all the things, right?
Yeah, that's all the thing. It's just the one, it's not pod or anything, just horror, not horror, but horror. Every time I say the word, people are like horror and heels, and it's like, no, it's horror as in the genre. No W in heels. So we're on all that.
So hit us up. Send us some suggestions, things you want to hear us talk about. We're wide open. It's, as Jen and I say, it's our podcast, and we'll do what we want.
Pretty much.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on, and no problem. And we'll get together sometime. You guys head over to Horror and Heels for some real fun, funny, and in-depth conversation on your favorite horror movies and your favorite horror movie remakes and sequels and everything. They hit all that up. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Oh, my God. Thanks so much. This is such a blast.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And throw me a bone.
Throw me a freaking bone.